Sarah Thompson's days were filled with joy and contentment as she lived a picture-perfect life in the idyllic suburbia. Her cozy house nestled among tall trees, with a white picket fence that framed her well-manicured lawn. But what truly made Sarah's life complete was her beloved golden retriever, Buddy. With his playful demeanor, wagging tail, and soulful brown eyes, Buddy was Sarah's faithful companion, and they were inseparable. Every morning, Sarah would wake up to Buddy's enthusiastic greeting, his warm tongue lapping her face. They would go for long walks in the nearby park, where Buddy would chase squirrels and frolic in the grass while Sarah laughed along. In the evenings, they would curl up on the couch, Sarah with a book in her hand and Buddy resting his head on her lap, contentedly wagging his tail. Their bond was the talk of the neighborhood, and Sarah took pride in Buddy's well-behaved nature and friendly disposition. Neighbors often stopped by to pet Buddy, and he was the unofficial mascot of the community, bringing smiles to everyone's faces. But one day, Sarah noticed a change in Buddy's behavior. He started growling at strangers and barking aggressively at other dogs during their walks. Sarah was bewildered, as Buddy had always been a gentle and friendly dog. She tried to calm him down, but his behavior only worsened. Buddy's once bright eyes now held a hint of something sinister, and Sarah couldn't understand what was happening to her beloved pet. Sarah sought advice from local veterinarians, but all the tests came back normal. She scoured the internet for answers, but there was no explanation for Buddy's sudden change in behavior. Sarah became increasingly worried as Buddy's aggression escalated, causing tension in the once peaceful neighborhood. Despite her best efforts, Sarah couldn't understand what was driving Buddy's monstrous transformation. The fear and confusion gnawed at her, and she found herself staying awake at night, watching over Buddy as he paced restlessly around the house. As Sarah tried to uncover the mystery behind Buddy's transformation, she couldn't shake off the feeling that something was amiss. She overheard whispers among the neighbors about a reclusive scientist, Dr. Lawrence Matthews, who lived in a mansion on the outskirts of the neighborhood. Rumors spread that he was known for conducting secretive experiments, and some even believed he dabbled in the unnatural. Sarah's curiosity piqued, and she couldn't shake off the nagging suspicion that Dr. Matthews might be connected to Buddy's sudden change in behavior. Determined to find answers, Sarah embarked on a journey to unravel the truth, not knowing that it would lead her into a nightmarish world of horror and danger. Sarah's heart races as she struggles to control Buddy, who has become a terrifying force of aggression. Her once gentle and loyal companion now seems like a different creature altogether, with eyes that gleam with a feral intensity. Sarah's frantic attempts to calm him down prove futile, and she realizes that she must take drastic measures to protect her neighborhood from Buddy's monstrous behavior. Sarah seeks help from local veterinarians, but none of them can explain Buddy's sudden transformation. Desperation sets in as Sarah's neighbors start filing complaints about Buddy's destructive behavior. Sarah's once peaceful life is shattered as she grapples with the realization that her beloved pet has turned into a monster. Sarah's days are consumed by researching online, trying to find a cure for Buddy's inexplicable aggression. She delves into forums and articles, seeking answers to the puzzle that Buddy has become. But despite her tireless efforts, the situation worsens as Buddy terrorizes the neighborhood, causing chaos and fear among the residents. One night, Sarah hears rumors about a reclusive scientist named Dr. Lawrence Matthews, who is known for his mysterious experiments. Intrigued, Sarah decides to investigate, driven by her desperate need to find a solution for Buddy's behavior. She learns that Dr. Matthews lives in a mansion on the outskirts of the neighborhood and rarely interacts with the locals. Undeterred, Sarah confronts Dr. Matthews at his mansion, but he dismisses her inquiries and denies any involvement in Buddy's transformation. However, Sara's instincts tell her otherwise, and As Sara delves deeper into her investigation, she faces resistance from Dr. Matthews and his associates, who try to intimidate her into silence. But Sara refuses to back down, driven by her love for Buddy and her sense of responsibility towards her community. She becomes more convinced of Dr. Matthews' involvement and sets her sights on finding concrete evidence against him. With each passing day, Sara's determination grows stronger, and she realizes that time is running out. Buddy's aggression continues to escalate, posing a grave threat to the neighborhood. Sara knows that she must act quickly to find a cure for Buddy and expose Dr. Matthews' unethical experiments. Sara's curiosity turned into suspicion as she delved deeper into Dr. Lawrence Matthews' activities. She spent countless hours researching, poring over documents, and talking to locals who had seen strange occurrences around his mansion. Her determination grew stronger with each new piece of evidence she uncovered. One night, Sara decided to sneak into Dr. Matthews' mansion under the cover of darkness. She carefully made her way through the overgrown bushes and climbed over the iron gate, her heart pounding in her chest. Inside, she discovered a hidden laboratory filled with bizarre equipment and cages holding animals. As Sara investigated further, she stumbled upon shocking evidence of Dr. Matthews' unethical experiments. She found records of illegal genetic modifications, cruel animal testing, and human subjects used for inhumane experiments. Her horror and anger intensified as she realized the extent of Dr. Matthews' depravity. Sara's snooping didn't go unnoticed, and she was confronted by Dr. Matthews and his associates. They tried to intimidate her into silence, but Sara stood her ground, fueled by her determination to expose the truth. She demanded answers, but Dr. Matthews denied any wrongdoing, brushing off Sara's accusations as baseless. However, Sara was undeterred. She secretly photographed the evidence she had found and managed to escape from the mansion before Dr. Matthews could apprehend her. As she left the mansion, she knew that she had uncovered a dark secret that needed to be exposed to the world. Sara's heart pounded as she raced against time to find a cure for Buddy. She scoured the internet for any information that could help her unravel the mystery of his monstrous transformation. Her days were consumed by exhaustive research, and her nights were filled with restless sleep as she fretted over Buddy's unpredictable behavior. Sara faced numerous obstacles in her quest for the truth. Dr. Matthews and his associates were determined to keep their unethical experiments a secret. They tried to intimidate Sara, sending veiled threats to silence her. But Sara refused to back down. Her determination grew stronger with each setback, fueled by her love for Buddy and her sense of responsibility to protect the neighborhood from his unpredictable rampage. Sara sought help from the local authorities, but Dr. Matthews' influential connections made it challenging for her to gain their support. She was met with skepticism and resistance, but she refused to be deterred. She enlisted the help of the few trusted neighbors who believed in her cause, and together they delved deeper into Dr. Matthews' past, uncovering more incriminating evidence against him. As Sara continued her investigation, she became more convinced of Dr. Matthews' involvement in Buddy's transformation. She pieced together clues and followed leads, pushing the boundaries of her own courage and resourcefulness. Her determination to find a cure for Buddy and expose Dr. Matthews' unethical practices drove her forward, even in the face of danger and adversity. As the stakes grew higher, Sara knew she had to act swiftly. She devised a daring plan to confront Dr. Matthews and gather concrete evidence against him. With her allies by her side, she confronted him in his secluded mansion, armed with her unwavering resolve and the truth she had uncovered. As Sara faced off against Dr. Matthews, their eyes locked in a battle of wills. The tension was palpable, and the outcome uncertain. Sara's heart raced with anticipation as she prepared to unveil the damning evidence against Dr. Matthews, determined to bring him to justice and find a cure for Buddy. As Sara stands in front of Dr. Lawrence Matthews, her heart races with a mix of fear and determination. She holds the evidence she painstakingly gathered against him, exposing his unethical experiments on Buddy, her once beloved pet dog turned into a monster. Dr. Matthews, a man who once held a position of authority in the scientific community, now looks desperate and cornered. Sara's voice is steady as she confronts him, laying out the damning evidence of his cruel and inhumane actions. She exposes his twisted motivations, his disregard for the consequences of his experiments, and the harm inflicted on Buddy and the neighborhood. But Dr. Matthews is unrepentant, defending his actions as a means for scientific advancement. He tries to discredit Sara's findings, dismiss her accusations, and even threatens her with legal action. Undeterred, Sara stands her ground, armed with the truth and unwavering determination. She uses her sharp wit and resourcefulness to counter Dr. Matthews' arguments, tearing down his facade of authority and exposing him for the unethical scientist he truly is. The tension in the room is palpable as Sara's unwavering resolve and compelling evidence sway the authorities and the public opinion against Dr. Matthews. The police arrive, and he is arrested, his laboratory shut down. As Sara steps outside, she is met with applause from the neighborhood residents who have gathered, witnessing the final confrontation. She sees Buddy, now calmer and back to his gentle self, wagging his tail as if knowing that the nightmare is finally over. In the aftermath, Sara receives recognition for her bravery and determination in exposing Dr. Matthews' unethical practices. She finds closure as the neighborhood comes together to support her and Buddy, offering their gratitude for putting an end to the menace. As the story reaches its conclusion, Sara reflects on the harrowing journey she had to endure, from the perfect life shattered by Buddy's transformation to the final confrontation with Dr. Matthews. She is forever changed by the experience, but her resilience and unwavering spirit have prevailed, making her a symbol of courage in the face of adversity.